to an argument over the support or non-support of trans people. And that's really not the issue as I see it. It's about marketing your brand, right? I know about brands, period. That's it. It's that simple. Now, you'll recall the furor that Bud Light ignited when they embarked on an ad campaign for March Madness with a trans influencer named Dylan Mulvaney. Now, the numbers initially took a dive, affecting everyone at Bud, all the way down to the poor distributors. The interesting thing is that week over week since the story broke, those numbers continue to cascade lower. Ouch, man. Unfortunately for Bud Light and InBev, their owner, the brand is looking at permanent losses of 25% of its business. And that's a big loss for a beer that used to own the top spot. Now, recent data shows Bud Light's year-over-year sales have declined almost 27%. What's more worrying is that those losses are gaining steam. They're not slowing down. Now, the question that needs to be asked is, why turn your back on your legacy core customers and torpedo the king of light beers to appeal to a group that just represents less than 1% of society? It seems insane. Well, my next guest is not insane, or maybe he is. He'll have no doubt have some thoughts on this show, on this subject on the show. Please welcome in Mike Lee. Thanks, Mike, for being on. I mean, I've heard the BlackRock story or the Vanguard story about how these people try to cater to the ESG investments, but still, I just don't get it. It's less than 1% out there, and you've turned your back on your core legacy customers. What are they thinking?
Well, look, when you take what was a purely American brand and you merge it into InBev, which is a big international conglomerate, it's no longer your prized possession, even though it's your number one selling beer. And they're trying to remake something that neither needs to be remade nor should be remade. I mean, this whole marketing gimmick is like out of one of their old Real Men of Genius commercials, right, yeah. Where just like let's tell all of our core customers that we hate you, we hate your values, and we hate your way of life, and just keep drinking our crappy beer anyway. And I say crappy beer as somebody who almost exclusively drinks Bud Light.
Right. I mean, there you go. That says something right there. And so, okay, now they can't get out of it, right? They've backed themselves into a situation, and I don't know if you've seen the cuts, but I have, where now if they try to move away from where they went with that marketing campaign, then they're making those people that are on that side of the aisle upset about leaving them and throwing them to the wayside. So now they can't make either side happy. What do?
Yeah, look, they need to bring back like Spuds McKenzie or the Swedish Bikini Team or something like that to really make it up to their existing customers. And they should just come out and say, we're sorry. We try to shove something down your throat you neither wanted nor needed. We've made an enormous mistake by insulting our customer base. And, give us another chance. We're going to cut the prices in half. We're going to do X. We're going to do Y. But like, we're your American beer. This is where we are. But they won't. Because it's run by cowards in a C-suite that are so far from the normal way of American life. This is, maybe some rich fancy people drink Bud Light, but it's not. It's a beer for the masses. And the problem is there's a lot of competitors out there. And I think this was one of the straws that broke the camel's back in shoving woke culture down everyone's throat. And like, I used to shop at Stu Leonard's growing up, and they had a big rock right in the middle of the store when you walked in, literally a big rock engraved on it, like the 10 Commandments. It said, the number one commandment of running a business is the customer is always right. And number two, it's like, if you think that's wrong, reread number one. Right. And so so insulting your customer and destroying your brand so you can hop on board with ESG or woke or whatever, but it isn't. It's an arrogance and it's a disconnect from those that operate these massive conglomerates to normal people.
So, speaking of normal people, I want to talk about a few things. But number one is that it's so bad now, with their year-over-year sales being down 26.8 or 27%, call it, right? They've marketed the 15-pack of Bud Light cans for $15, and with that, you get a $15 off rebate. So basically, they're giving you Bud Light, and it's still not moving. The distributors are still hurting, even though they're giving the beer away. That should say something about the width and breadth of that mistake.
Yeah, look, if I was a distributor, I would be involved in a class action lawsuit because, I stopped drinking it for a while, and then I happened to run into a distributor, and he's like, look, this is crushing my business. I had nothing to do with this. We are hardworking people. We're entrepreneurs. we're working as hard as we can. You know, we look at all the jobs we provide, look at all the money we donate to conservative politicians, look at all the good things that we do, and we're the ones that are really hurting. Where Budweiser and InBev, yeah, you know, they need 55 billion in sales. Next year it might be 54 because of this debacle. Does anybody really pay for that other than people down the line of the food chain? So it's just a disaster all around, and let it be a lesson for anybody that you know wants to kick their customer in the teeth. It's probably not the best business strategy.
Right. So then answer me this. Given the opportunity to walk that back, I'm sure you've seen the clip, the CEO that was interviewed by another network. He danced around the subject like he couldn't really make a decision, go either way, because like I said earlier, he's boxed himself in. Now, if he alienates the Dylan Mulvaney crowd, there's going to be a huge backlash there. Already is starting to be some when they started to try to alienate it. And then now he's, you know, and the core customer is still angry too. So he's now made both sides mad, and he still can't say that he's not going to do it anymore. He just almost didn't answer the question. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, look, one of my mentors told me, gave me great advice, that you want to be all the way in on one side. You know why? Because if you're wrong, you know the other side to go to. So if you waffle in the middle,
right,
you have no idea where to go. So if you're wrong on a trade, okay, and you're shorting something, well, buy it back and buy more and ride the momentum up. Right? Or if you're long a trade and it's selling, you know, it's getting sold off, you know, sell it all and then start shorting it. Like, get on the other side quickly. And because being in the worst is, it's being in the middle is worse because you have no idea where to go, no idea how to fix your mistakes. But that's corporate America.
Yeah, I tell you what, my dad said the same thing to me when I was getting in the business to be a broker. He says, if they call you up and ask you where it's going, say up and have two good reasons or down and have two good reasons. Because if you're right, they're going to call you back and say, here's all my money, manage it for me. And if you're wrong, they're going to call you back and tell you what a jerk you are. But if you say nothing, they're never going to call you back, right? And so both of those scenarios, you get the call back and you get the chance to earn some of their business. And that's exactly what you're saying, I think, too. And maybe the guy that runs the CEO should probably take a look at those types of ideas, because that's how those people are going to get themselves out of this problem. You're exactly right. They're not going to get out of this problem by staying down the middle. Man, you're the perfect. Go ahead, real quick. Yeah, 5 seconds.
It's just really ironic because some of the best advertisements ever have come out of Bud Light, and we see them kill their brand like this. It's
what's up? Like, what's up? All right, it's off. Good.